Sports, a place where many athletes find success.
This is likely the final play that matters. End zone wide open. What a night for Mike Williams.
But where there's a winner, there has to be a loser.
He came a long way. You hear me? Man, I love you, bro. Yeah.
It's one thing to watch the game, but another to analyze it. Let's talk about the numbers. You ready?
YouTube. What's going on, man? Back here to give another video. It's your boy, Numbers Fan Jay. And today I'm here to give you my power rankings for the NFL after week 5. Let you know where I think these teams are in terms of who's looking like the best team, who's the hottest team. I'm just going to give you my top 10 because I feel like these are the most important teams right now. But before I get into my power rankings, please make sure you leave a like, you comment, you subscribe, you share this video with your family, your friends. We're still trying to make it to 200 subscribers. So please help me reach that goal. I'm really hoping that one day I could be paid to make YouTube videos. To do that, I have to get to 1,000 subscribers. So gotta get to 200 before we get to 1,000. So let's just work one step at a time. Let's get to 200 subscribers. I know we can do it. Let's get it, man. So, after 5 weeks of football, we have really established, teams are really starting to establish their own identities. We're starting to figure out, okay, this team likes to run the ball. This team likes to pass the ball. This team is balanced. This team still doesn't really have a strength. This team really doesn't have a weakness. Okay, we're starting to figure these things out. With that being said, there's a lot of winning and a lot of losing going on. So, starting from number 10 and working my way up, and I will give you an explanation for all of these as we go. Number 10, the Tennessee Titans. Their record is 3-2. They got destroyed by the Cardinals in week 1. They beat Seattle in overtime the following week, making a comeback win in Seattle. That was very, very impressive. And then they lost to the Jets in week 4. And you're kind of figuring, are the Titans good or are they bad? We don't really know yet. I think the Titans themselves are still trying to figure that out. I know they didn't have A.J. Brown and Julio Jones against the Jets. But, I mean, if you don't have either one of them and you go play a team that's winless and you lose to them, well, now the great teams are looking at that like, if they only have one of them and they play us, we're about to wipe the floor with them. Like, it's not even going to be close. But anyway, Titans at 10. Number 9, the Cleveland Browns. They are also 3-2. Their only losses are to the Kansas City Chiefs in week 1 and the Los Angeles Chargers this past week in week 5. They're the number 1 rushing team in football, 6 in points per game. Their defense is great outside of last week when they played my Chargers. So I really think that Cleveland, if you just throw that last game out the window, Cleveland is right there among the top dogs in the AFC, and they really have a legit chance this year. I didn't know that they could score all those points, honestly, just by running the ball. I mean, I knew our run defense was bad, but golly, man, you have to do us like that. But anyway, Cleveland at 9. Now is when it gets tricky because we have 7 4-1 teams and we have an undefeated team. Where do we rank these teams? Well, we have to look at the strength of the schedule. We have to look at how they're winning their games. Are they blowing everybody out? Are they barely beating these teams? Have they played great teams? Have they played terrible teams? So let's get to it. Coming in at number 8, somebody has to be there. It's going to be the Baltimore Ravens for me. So the Baltimore Ravens, 4-1, of course. They've won 4 straight games. Their one loss is to the Raiders. And that weighs pretty heavy to me because I think we're starting to figure out that the Raiders just aren't that good. On top of that, they just lost their head coach. So that puts the Raiders even further down than where they already were. But I mean, goodness, man. Like, the Ravens beat the Chiefs in Kansas City. They escaped. They just barely escaped the Lions. Then they barely escaped the Colts. And they handled the Broncos. So, I mean, they handled the team that they were supposed to handle. But just barely beating the Colts and barely beating the Lions, that really puts them at the bottom of those 4-1 teams, because these other teams have some significant wins by more than just 2 or 3 points. They definitely should have blew the Lions out. There's no way that they barely beat the Lions on a record-breaking field goal, even though that was great. There's no no way. But anyway, moving on. Number 7, coming in at number 7, the Green Bay Packers. And I don't feel like this is unfair for them. Green Bay is 4-1. They won 4 in a row. Their week 1 loss just weighs very heavy for me. Just the game was 38-3 against the Saints, and then come out and just start winning all of a sudden. Now that's either one or two things: Aaron Rodgers actually did not care, or 2, this team has some glaring weaknesses that only seem to be exploited by the right coaches. But we'll see. We're gonna leave that where it is. I think that's a fair ranking for the Green Bay Packers. They did beat the 3-1 Bengals, and they beat the 2-0 49ers. So they have some convincing wins on their schedule. That week 1 is just, it seems so weird. But anyway, so there's that. Coming in at number 6, and I know I'm probably going to catch heat for this, but I don't care, because honestly, I've went back and forth with myself on this power ranking for this specific team. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. I'm sorry. They're 4-1. But you look at their schedule, man. They barely beat the Patriots. They're supposed to wipe the floor with the Patriots. I don't care who's coaching. I don't care what kind of history he has with Tom Brady. I don't care. You know how many weapons they have on that offense? I don't care what type of scheme you come up with. If you get the ball to your weapons in that game, there's no reason. It's no reason. But it was raining. I will say that it was raining. You got to give credit to the coaching staff for the Patriots, but still, that team on a talent-wise level, nowhere near the freaking Buccaneers. There's no way. They handled the Dolphins and the Falcons. Okay, they beat the Cowboys. All right, cool. But they got destroyed by the Rams. Destroyed. They weren't even in the game when the fourth quarter started. Like, it was 31-17 and one, like 31-14. Like, you got to think about that, man. This is a team that was rolling, right? I mean, the Rams came in there and made it look like they hadn't won a game. I was just like, man, Buccaneers. Come on, bro. Like, we gotta weigh that in there as well. This is the number 1 rushing defense, but they are 20th in points allowed. They are 20th in points allowed. Number 3 in points per game. So this team, they want a shootout every game. They're not planning to blow you out. They just want to see how many points you can score. Like, this, that has an effect on that power ranking for me. But anyway, moving on. Number 5, I gotta go with my boys. Number 5, 4-1. The only loss that we have this year is to the team that I'm going to mention next. But otherwise, we'd be the number 1 team in the NFL, no doubt. And I'm saying that out of confidence because we beat the Chiefs in Kansas City before they were, sliding. We beat them in Kansas City. The Raiders were 3-0. We beat them. The Browns were 3-1. We beat them. All those opponents are better than the Buccaneers opponents outside of the Cowboys, who they barely beat, outside of the Rams, who wiped the floor with them. Just saying. Anyway, the Chargers are number 3 passing team in the NFL, 7th in points per game, and we are 7th versus the pass. Terrible against the run, but we're figuring it out, man. We're figuring it out. Number 4, the Dallas Cowboys, 4-1. Their only loss is to the Super Bowl champion Buccaneers, and that was in week 1. They barely lost that game. So this team very well could be undefeated right now. I mean, we could say that for the past few teams, but this team is looking pretty dang good this year. They won 4 in a row. Number 2 in the NFL in turnover differential, and number 2 in takeaways. That's huge for this defense, for this team going forward. We always talk about this team not being balanced. They're either all offense or all defense. They're never balanced. This team may just be balanced this year, and that is very scary. Because this team is not, they're not an older team now. They're young. They're in their primes. So Dallas Cowboys are looking like one of the best teams in the NFL easily. Number 2, we're going to go, actually, excuse me, skip the number. I don't know how to count. Number 3, we're going with the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are 4-1 as well. Saw that coming. Their only loss is to the Cardinals, who are undefeated. The Cardinals just absolutely destroyed them. We're looking at the hierarchy forming here in the NFC. Rams destroy the Buccaneers. The Cardinals destroy the Rams. I mean, hey, there's no way that I can change that power ranking right now. There's just no way. But anyway, so, I mean, their defense isn't playing as well as it could be, but their record speaks for itself. They're still 4-1. They're 8th in points per game. They're 2nd in passing. I mean, this team, it still looks good. It still looks good. We have questions about their defense after, giving up almost 1,000 yards and 61 points in 2 weeks between the Buccaneers game and the Cardinals game. Like, I mean, that's tough. That's tough. 2 of the best offenses in the league. But gotta move on. Number 2, the Buffalo Bills. This is also a tough ranking for them. Buffalo Bills 4-1. This is the only NFL team with 2 shutouts so far. Two shutouts. Not just one time that they held their opponent to 0 points through 60 minutes. They did it twice. Now, they've won 4 in a row. They just beat the AFC champions, Kansas City Chiefs. It wasn't close, okay? First time the Chiefs just got handled. All right, so let's give them their respect. But I mean, number 1 defense in football, number 1 in turnover differential, number 1 in takeaways. This is very, very scary. But they did lose to the Steelers in week 1. That's the only thing keeping them here. They should be undefeated, but they're not. Just wanted to say that. Of course, number 1 team in the power rankings is the only undefeated team left. There's no way. Let me talk to y'all for a sec. I gotta put this down because I seen this on power rankings on the NFL app. There's no way that the undefeated team is not number 1. I don't care. I don't care. There's no way that the undefeated team, the only undefeated team in the league, is not number 1 in the power rankings. That doesn't make sense. That does not make sense. They haven't lost a game. Had to say that. Had to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Didn't mean to yell at y'all. I just want to put that out there. But anyway, Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals are 5-0. Number 3 in points per game, 6th in points allowed. So they're doing it on both sides of the football. They're tied for 3rd in turnover differential. They're tied for 10th in sacks on defense. They don't lack star power. I mean, how much else could you ask for? A.J. Green, DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray, J.J. Watt, Chandler Jones, Buda Baker. Like, come on, man. This is the number 1 team in football. I know the Bills look impressive, but god dang it, they're undefeated. The Cardinals are undefeated. Stop disrespecting the Cardinals. I told y'all 2 years ago that the Cardinals are going to be good. I was a year early. I mean, golly, that just frustrated my soul. I'm like, why are the Cardinals not number 1? There's no way. That's impossible. But anyway, I'm done ranting. Thank y'all for coming to my power rankings. Please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, share this video with your family, your friends. Let me know what power ranking that you really disagree with. What power ranking that you feel I got right as opposed to the NFL, the one on the NFL app. You know which one I'm talking about. It's your boy Jay. We out of here.